Good evening, YouTube. What the crap's going on? And I've got a very unlikely alliance here for you of dwarves and high elves. The pointy ears getting together with the stunted and bearded ones. I mean, this is an old grudgeon, right? I don't think that these two factions like each other much, but they're getting together for a limited time only for your entertainment. And what are they up against? Well, they're up against some greenskins and Vampire Coast. So I guess you got to combine somewhere, right? They may hate each other, but I'm guessing they hate both of these factions more. So let's check out the different armies here. I am playing as the Dawi player in this 2v2. I've got a decent number of miners with blasting charges, a few standard longbeards, a few longbeards with great weapons, and some warriors mixed in here. And then I'm basically going for, and I've got a couple of warriors with great weapons in the back. I'm trying to have a ton of dwarven infantry here, which is all high armor, and some of which is shielded to make it very difficult for the greenskins and the Vampire Coast to quickly cut through anything, because my high elf teammate is rocking a life mage, a prince up here on what looks like a sun dragon to me. I sometimes get those wrong though. He's got a couple of archers, and if we take a look at the other units here, a couple of white lions. So that's the army that we're going to be seeing here from the high elves. There is some dragon princes out here as well, which is some very heavy cavalry, along with the Frostheart Phoenix, which can be a tough unit for certain factions to kill. So it should be pretty interesting to see how this plays out. I've got to hold the line while my opponent helps to clean up some of the back lines. I did bring some artillery. I've got a cannon and the Goblobber in order to try and do damage to any enemy ranged units. But very interestingly, the Vampire Coast, led by a Fleet Admiral with lore of vampires here, is being supported by a couple of depth guard units. Just not a super common pick. They are set up in a rush configuration here mostly. They do have some gunnery mob, but they've got pole arms, they've got animated hulks to do some armor piercing, there's some sirens, there's a bloated corpse over here, a couple of deck gunners, but they're mostly set up in a rush formation. There are some fell bats. For the greenskins, we're going to see a couple of night goblin archers. And then, in my opinion, a very well put together army for fighting against Dawi on the cheap, which is going to be just basically some orc units mixed with nasty skulkers, goblins, and Wurzag, who is always a good pick for the greenskins because of his effigy to get. Nasty skulkers are just a cheap way to get a lot of damage done versus a lot tankier units. And so, interesting to see them here. There is a goblin rock lobber and some more goblins in the back as well. So, going to be quite a few numbers on the team against us. Let's hit play and see how this bears out for us. So I pushed my troops downfield just a little bit, and I'm leaving my artillery relatively exposed here. Now, I just want you all to think about this real quick. Just think about it. Leaving artillery relatively exposed. I mean, it's not like greenskins or Vampire Coast have some very cheap, fast-moving cavalry type units, right? Right? Think, folks, when you're in a battle. Don't be like me. Think. I was very focused on everything in front of me at this point, and there are some Forest Goblin Spider Riders. We'll see whether or not I'm able to keep my artillery safe. Over here, I do have the benefit of having some Dragon Princes to call to my aid. So yeah, let's look at these depth guard units. These are going to be some very tough units. They don't deal armor piercing damage, but they have 70 weapon strength. These guys are nuts. And then they have Frenzy, which is what's causing their weapon strength to be up even higher. So they may not be specifically armor piercing, but they will still do tremendous damage to Dawi units. And the dwarves are sometimes kind of misleading. Like, it gets easy to forget with them that really what keeps them from being very effective sometimes is that they're just a high defense faction. They don't attack very well. And it's because their melee attack is very low on almost all their units outside of hammerers. Now, Thorgrim is a unit who can help correct that to an extent, but he's also a huge target for enemies. And speaking of huge target for enemies, this Frostheart Phoenix getting wrapped up in a bunch of fell bats here is just going to make the day for the Vampire Coast. Now, I wanted to get in here, get into combat, see if we can start chewing through this different chaff, and see if we could get into the back lines. We're going to get hit by a foot of Gork here, which actually does some pretty tremendous damage. So that's a nice call by Wurzag. And then our archers and artillery are now completely exposed. And these Forest Gobbo Spider Riders cresting the hill back here are looking to be in a fantastic position to cause a lot of damage. The Prince on his Sun Dragon is hovering over the battle right now, my Runesmith, and the initial hit is hard, and we really start punishing the Vampire Coast, but of course, lucky for them, they don't immediately fall apart. Same thing over here. Even this Depth Guard unit gets really hit hard here immediately. But here comes a Wa, and the Greenskins are now ready to come reinforce in this battle, and you're going to see the dragon here get hit by Effigy to get. It's a good opportunity for some of these units to focus fire that dragon, but it's not happening at the moment. Surprisingly, there's deck gunners, there's gunnery mob, there's night gobos. They could have chewed that dragon up pretty badly there, but weren't able to do so. The White Lions are going to try and engage the Broken Tusk mob over here. Not an ideal engagement for them, but if they can at least keep that unit out of our back, it'd be handy. And the greenskin damage and kind of secondary support here is going to really be nice because these Skulkers aren't going to get charged. Not that the Dawi have a lot of charge, but they get an engagement that's going to really work nicely for them. These big guns all combining against a warrior. The warrior has nice armor, but can't fight off those kind of units. It just doesn't have enough attack. Over here, the Frostheart Phoenix is just getting absolutely bogged down in some polearms. This is a depth guard with polearms too, so a unit that these Dragon Princes need to be very aware of. Now, these deck gunners do get absolutely wrecked by the Dragon Princes, and this is good news. These guns need to be taken out as well. But those depth guard are a very, very frightening proposal right now. So it started off strong for my Dawi, but we lost our artillery. This is not good. And despite the tankiness of my infantry, we won't last forever in this fight. Check out this depth guard here, already racked up 54 kills, 55. Yeah, it's just going to keep climbing. They get kills at a tremendous rate, and that's despite being some Longbeards in here. But again, Longbeards with great weapons seem okay, but it's when you look at that melee attack. Their melee attack is just pure crap, and it's being nerfed by units around them, and that's really what drags down a lot of the dwarf units. And Thorgrim, like I said, is a pick who can help rectify that to a degree, but unfortunately some of his buffs to your units don't happen until he's already half dead. So it can be tremendously frustrating to have to wait for your lord to be half dead, which is not too hard to do against Thorgrim because he's such a big target sticking up above the rest of the crowd. Now, I do manage to get my Slayers into these deck gunners. We're going to take these guys out. I don't want to leave an armor-piercing missile unit until late game. The Frostheart Phoenix is still fighting, but it's in pretty rough shape. Fortunately, though, it's caught these archers. The Dragon Princes have managed to get back here and cause some good damage, too. These Dragon Princes still alive, 65 kills, clobbering a gunner right now. This gunner gets completely clobbered. So we are getting some important things done here, but if you look at the balance bar, it's slightly against our team at the moment. We can't really touch this Vampire Fleet Admiral, and we also can't touch Wurzag unless the dragon gets him. But he's not going to be really easy for the dragon to catch because he's on a boar and he's going to be relatively quick. But if somehow the Frostheart Phoenix could maybe tag him, the Dragon Princes, if we could get rid of Wurzag, that would be huge to try and get rid of the Greenskin leadership. That's probably our only chance of pulling this battle back, would be to crush the Greenskin leader at this point. You can see the Frostheart Phoenix doing just that. Wurzag definitely does not want to be engaged by a Frostheart Phoenix. These Dragon Princes going to get the gunnery mob. Wurzag, very fortunate, not taking a lot of damage here. He's a pretty tough character, though, in melee, and he's returning a little damage to that Frostheart Phoenix. I'm kind of shocked to see how well he held up, but these polearms are going to be a timely arrival for Wurzag. He needs their support badly. The weight of my dwarf armor is held out for a very long time here in the center, but now more Skulkers coming in from the flanks. These Longbeards with great weapons were doing nicely, but these two Skulkers are just going to rip that unit apart. There are some dwarf spearmen. They're trying to hold off these hulks, and I do have my artillery pieces that I should have brought back over to their unit here. There's going to be a flaming attack from the dragon there, which does get a tremendous number of kills, but it also kills some of my Longbeards, and they end up routing because of being completely surrounded. And the power bar turns ever against us here. We're running out of units to be able to hold back the Greenskin tide. I do have some units that were successful on my right-hand flank, which can now come join the battle towards the center. The Frostheart Phoenix is in a desperate bid here to put some of these Greenskins to rout, but their leader is pretty nearby, and so they're not being terrorized here like they could normally be. And then these polearms kind of consistently chasing around the Dragon Princes, and this Dragon Prince actually gets routed. So, and that polearm unit is going to be difficult for me to kill. I do have some Longbeards with great weapons, but they're not going to stack up real well there. My Rune Lord is in big trouble, and if he goes down, the fight is well and truly over. I have some Slayers back here who have racked up 170 kills on enemy skirmishers, mostly. They're doing fantastic work. I kind of took them through a gap in the line early in the battle, and they really did a tremendous job for me, but unfortunately, it's looking like it's not going to be enough. I just don't have enough units to turn this fight around, and with the Dragon and the Frostheart Phoenix pretty much out of the fight, we just don't have a way to finish it. There's the Vampire Fleet Admiral. We've got no way to kill him, too. My Rune Lord certainly can't hack it. See the Longbeard with great weapons. Getting in there, getting a few kills. The High Elf Spearmen holding on for as long as they can, but you can see that the leadership of our army is not long for this Warhammer world. And despite the good work done by my Slayers, there's only so much they can do. Look at this one back here, killing even more skirmishers. Up to 177 kills. There's only 10 of them left. 180, 81. But now they're going to start getting shot to death by others. That is going to be it. Only my Slayers remain. And I'll let you guys see them fulfill their Slayer oaths. We're going to get beat down by the Greenskin Vampire Coast Alliance. Well played by our opponents. It was a fun battle. Enjoyed playing the Dawi. Hadn't played them in a while. I think that Thorgrim definitely would have been better for this army, especially if we could have just kept those skirmishers busy. All of my dwarves would have caused a whole lot more damage with Thorgrim on the map because of his buffs, but also he cost a whole lot more, and I wouldn't have been able to bring as many units, and so that makes Thorgrim a huge liability because of his cost. And like I said, his size. He sticks up above the battle, makes him easy to hit with deck gunners, carronades, gunnery mobs with handguns, just about anything. Just about anything. My Slayer's not going to give up on cutting up some of these goblins. They may be about to die, but they're going to take some of these filthy goblins with them. There comes some Spider Riders. Typically not a unit that would finish off Slayers, but certainly probably capable of doing it. And then here comes the Broken Tusk mob and the Goblin Rock Lobber on top of the hill as well. I think this has got to be the last few Dawi here. One more. Oh, he's getting spider bit. Something fierce over here. And beheaded. So a valiant defeat. It was fun. Really enjoyed this battle, and I hope you all did too. I want to say thank you to Iced Monkey for joining, Ungrim Iron Fist, and a Barbecued Python. Doesn't that sound delicious? Hey, if you all haven't subscribed, make sure you go do. I want you all to win some of those Steam Wallet codes. I'm going to be putting some Steam Wallet codes in the comments of my videos randomly throughout this week. You all can get some cash for the Steam Summer Sale and have a lot of fun with that. So make sure you subscribe and click that bell so you get notifications. I'll vary it up a little bit so that folks from all around the world have a chance to do it, where I'm not just releasing videos where it's like always 3 a.m. at your time. So you all keep an eye on it. HeirofCarthage signing out for now. Thank you for being here. I will see you all soon.